Hello, my name is Stacy Nicholson, and I am your current elected sheriff. For those of you who may not know me, let me take just a second to tell you a little bit about myself. I am 41 years old. My wife Cynthia and I have 3 children and live in the Cartacay area of Gilmer County. I was first elected in 2004, taking office January 1st, 2005 at the age of 33. I have continuously been employed with the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office for more than 21 years. I was elected in 2010 by the Georgia Sheriff's Association members to serve as the Northwest Georgia region, in the Northwest Georgia region, as a regional vice president for the organization. I began my career at the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office on March 3, 1991 as a detention officer. I attended North Central Georgia Police Academy in September 1991. I was a patrolman for approximately 1 year before being promoted to detective. I remained a detective until ultimately taking office as your sheriff. I hold 4 law enforcement certifications through the Georgia Peace Officer Standards and Training Council. They are Basic Law Enforcement, General Instructor, Firearms Instructor, and a Sheriff's Certification. I graduated from Gilmer High School in 1989 and then attended Berry College and later North Georgia State College, where I majored in criminal justice. In 2004, when first running for office, from officers within the department to citizens on the street, it seemed unanimous that they wanted increased professionalism in the sheriff's office. After being elected, my command staff and I went to work, and here's what we did to achieve this. First, we developed extensive standard policies and procedures. We appointed a training unit and set training standards above that of the state requirements. We implemented a field training officer program where new officers ride with and are evaluated by experienced officers for 12 weeks. And then we maintained the determination to hold ourselves accountable to these goals. After a short period of 3 years, I felt that the agency was ready for state certification. We received our state certification in March of 2008. At that time, we were only the 12th sheriff's office in the state of Georgia to achieve this. We were recertified in 2011. When campaigning in 2004, the security of the jail was an issue, so let me take just a second to talk about that. Immediately after taking office, I implemented a supervisory structure and policies at the jail, held the officers accountable to this, and we secured the Gilmer County Jail. We haven't had any escapes, nor have we been successfully sued. As a matter of fact, in my 8 years as sheriff, we haven't paid one single penny of tax money to someone as a result of successfully being sued for negligent or wrongful actions. There are some other accomplishments that I am proud of. Since taking office, I have automated all of the agency's records, which makes it easier to retrieve reports. We are now utilizing the internet and Facebook to inform and interact with the public. We have replaced the DARE program in the schools with the CHAMPS program, which was developed by the Georgia Sheriff's Association. CHAMPS is a drugs and alcohol and destructive behavior prevention program, developed to be taught to 5th grade students. And lastly, one of the most beneficial programs to the Sheriff's Office has been the Citizens Law Enforcement Academy, where I have opened up the doors of transparency to the citizens interested in law enforcement or the functions of government. Last year, my deputies handled over 55,000 calls for service. My detectives maintained a 27% clearance rate on their burglary investigations, which is much higher than the national average. My deputies served 578 criminal warrants, nearly 3,000 civil processes. All of this and a lot more was done without incident. The other day while out campaigning, I was asked by a guy, and I believe it was jokingly, but nevertheless asked, "Have you done a good job as sheriff?" I paused for a minute because I'm not typically one to brag on myself, but as I thought about the question, I answered him by saying, "Yes, I believe I have done a good job." I am extremely proud of the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office that I have put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into for the last 21 years. I could have left for a better paying job on many occasions, but I chose not to because my loyalty is to the citizens of Gilmer County. In this election, I have 4 opponents. 3 of these men have at one point worked for me, and 2 of them have made attempts in the past to run for sheriff, either in Gilmer County or in another state. As to be expected, personal attacks of me and attacks of the Sheriff's Office operations are being thrown around. I have listened to or read the attacks and promises of my opponents and would simply classify them as typical political rhetoric. I don't mean to imply to you that I have been perfect in leading the agency, nor am I perfect as an individual. But I will say that Gilmer County has a solid sheriff's office that they can be proud of. They have a professional sheriff's office staffed with loyal, competent, and dedicated men and women. Since the budget is one of the biggest topics of discussion by my opponents, let me say this. Since 2009, I have worked with the Board of Commissioners diligently to cut $1 million out of the Sheriff's Office budget, as most elected officials and department heads have done to help keep property taxes low. And due to a change in the county insurance accounting, I have actually cut approximately $1.4 million out of actual operating expenditures. Last year, the Georgia Sheriff's Association did a survey of sheriff's offices throughout the state to see what agencies were doing to cope with a bad economy. When the results were published, I realized that I had already implemented 18 of the 30 ideas that had been mentioned in order to save money. I will say this, the last 4 years have been tough. I have had to make some tough decisions. My employees haven't had a raise in 5 years, but neither have employees of sheriff's offices throughout the state. Last year, I made the decision to park the out-of-county deputies' take-home cars, and I lost some employees over it because of this. They couldn't afford to work here without the car. But it was encouraging, and I believe a testament to the atmosphere of this sheriff's office when a former employee returned after being gone about a year to one of the highest-paying agencies in the state. He took nearly a $6 an hour pay cut to come back. It's easy for folks to sit back and criticize, especially if they have ulterior motives. It's a different story to roll up your sleeves, jump in, and do something to help. That's exactly what my staff and I have done. We have adopted a mentality of doing more with less. Through attrition, I have cut 15 positions throughout the sheriff's office, and the majority of them were supervisory positions. Political candidates typically attach a little slogan to their campaign, and I am proud to say that I have adopted proven leadership in tough economic times. In closing, I am not perfect, nor is the sheriff's office, but I have made the Gilmer County Sheriff's Office a professional, progressive, and positive factor in Gilmer County government. For the last 8 years, I have been accessible and responsive to your problems and needs. All of the professionalism in the world cannot replace, though, having a sheriff that you can sit down and talk to as a friend, even if we've never met. I want to continue serving as your sheriff for the next 4 years. I have accomplished a lot, but I'm not done. I appreciate your great support for the last 8 years, and I ask for your vote on July 31st. Thank you.